Okay, welcome back to part 2 of chapter 9 of Journey of the Heart. Okay, we're going to do a card from Wisdom from the Epics of Hind. Let's take a minute. What card are we going to reflect on today? Oh, Kali's anger. So we're talking about anger. So how do we deal with this anger that we may be feeling with whatever's going on in our life right now? As we deal with relationships, whether that's relationship within ourselves, relationship with our partner, relationship with those around us. How do we deal with this anger? So let's have a look and see what Kali has to say about this. So let's find Kali. Kali's anger. The goddess Durga rode into the battlefield atop her lion. When she saw the destruction caused by the demons, she knitted her eyebrows in anger. Her focus and her fury transformed her into the goddess Kali. Her naked dark blue body quivered with rage. She held weapons in her hands and a garland of skulls around her neck. She sliced through the demons with agility and ease. Then came the demon Raktabija. Every drop of Raktabija's blood that fell on the earth brought forth another Raktabija. Soon there were countless Raktabijas on the battlefield. Goddess Kali attacked him and licked every drop of his blood before it fell on the earth, vanquishing him in the process. As Goddess Kali became intoxicated on his blood, her anger grew exponentially, and so did her lust for killing. Questions to ask yourself. What is making you angry at this time? What are you doing to tackle it? What can you change about yourself to change what you don't like in this world? Are you getting addicted to things, substances, habits, or even people that have been hampering your daily life and happiness? Actions to take. Express anger in the right time, in the right way, before it becomes toxic. Eat more foods that help strengthen and purify the blood in your body. Remove toxic people from your life without regret. Focus on your third eye chakra, pituitary gland between the eyebrows, and reduce use of electronics before bedtime. Your message is, no problem is insurmountable. Approach your situation with a new sense of understanding. Anger is an ally and an instrument of change if used wisely. It is now time to take action. Interesting. Okay, so let's have a look and see what this part of chapter 9 is all about. Stories and scripts. Yet usually what we do instead is to play out the same self-defeating patterns over and over again. What makes it so hard to see and change what we're doing? I once worked with a man who became so obsessed and grasping every time he became involved with a woman that he would soon drive her away. This would leave him feeling hurt, abandoned, and unloved. As a result, he concluded that he was unfit to be in a relationship at all. Why did Chris keep repeating such a destructive pattern, especially when he knew that it got him nowhere? Underlying all such compulsive behaviour is something more persistent, a story or script that we are playing out. Stories are ways in which we try to interpret our experience by ascribing fixed meaning to particular events in our lives. After we tell ourselves a story through times, it generalizes into a master script that governs the play of our lives. Stories rationalize and perpetuate the wounded, contracted places within us. Instead of saying, I'm lonely and hurting inside, Scrooge says, bah humbug. If he could simply acknowledge his hurt, he would begin to soften inside and address his unfulfilled needs. But the cover story he invents to hide his wound, people are fools, who needs them, only solidifies his wound and maintain its hold on him. In looking into his tendency to grab onto every new relationship, Chris discovered the story he was telling himself. I'm not really worthy of a wonderful relationship. I can't have such wonderful feelings. Since he believed this, the next step was therefore, I'd better grab where I can right now, before this woman disappears. Because he was in such a rush to seize what he believed would never last, he would ignore any proper sense of timing. He would give himself to the relationship immediately, instead of letting it develop naturally. This would scare his partner away, thus confirming his story. I can't really have this. Chris's story was part of a master script that he enacted in many different areas of his life. There is something wrong with me. I'm not enough. Chris had developed this belief as a way of coping with severe deprivation and neglect in childhood. Children typically try to understand why their parents are not more loving by imagining that they themselves are bad and undeserving of love. Thus, Chris had come to believe that his parents neglected him because he was not good enough. In so doing, he had solidified his deprivation into an identity. This he found a way to make something an identity for himself out of nothing, his unfulfilled needs. Thus provide a security of sorts, the only kind that was available at the time. Ever since Chris felt most fully himself, when he felt empty, hungry, deprived as a child, this had been a brilliant strategy for keeping himself together in a family situation that threatened his physical and emotional survival. Yet, as an adult, his attachment to this skewed identity made it impossible to receive nourishment from other people. If a woman wanted to give to him, he would feel as though he were losing himself. He could feel like himself only when chasing after her, feeling hungry, or losing her, feeling bereaved. Here are some of the other common examples of stories learned in childhood that set up a negative life scripts. I don't deserve love. I have to earn love. I can never get what I really want. I will only be loved if I play hard to get. If others see my need, they'll run away. I don't trust love. It's a form of control. I must save women. I must always be pleasing to men. No one will love me if I show myself as I really am. Even though these beliefs about love may be unreasonable and harmful, they can be quite persistent. One reason for this is that despite the pain they cause, they give us a secure sense of identity. This gives them a staying power that defies logic and common sense. One of the most obviously lovable women I have known had a story that she was unlovable, which persisted despite people really nearly universal positive response to her. Born out of the neglect she suffered as a child, the story helped her maintain a defiant stance, which allowed her to feel safe whenever her need for love aroused. Furthermore, we come to believe that our story accurately represents the way things really are. Yet in truth it is only a dream, a conditioned pattern of beliefs that keep recreating the kind of situation that wounded us in the first place. By determining how we set up our relationships, such stories become self-fulfilling prophecies, recreating the very situation we most fear. This in turn provides evidence that justifies them further, causing them to become even more entrenched. A woman whose father committed suicide had a strong fear of being abandoned by men. She would never let a man get too close to her. She would tell herself men cannot be trusted to be there for you. Needing them just sets you up for grief, like I felt when my father died. This story became a life script that also gave her identity. I don't need anymore. Yet stifling her need for closeness made her come across in a tight, held back way. Since this kept men from feeling close to her, they invariably wound up leaving her. Thus the story she told herself kept recreating her primal abandonment drama, and believing that her story was reality. She was blind to how it created her reality. Until we bring consciousness to bear on what we are doing, we will continually recreate our childhood tragedies throughout our lives. The unresolved issues within us will continually get acted out as conflicts between us and our intimate partners. Very, very interesting. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel so that we can continue reading chapter 9 of Journey of the Heart. Okay, take care and blessed be.